You got it!
Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be all about my beginner tips to running. For those of you who may have followed along with my half marathon prep journey on Instagram, my Instagram is Bacon, Megan, Cheese, then you know I am not a runner. A little background about me: all growing up, I was always a swimmer. I avoided any sport that required running, and with swimming I always got out of not having to do any running. So that is why I signed up to run a half marathon this past February, because I wanted to challenge myself and really get outside my comfort zone. So from September to February I trained to run a half marathon.
Megan! You got it!
Okay, you can do it.
I ended up actually setting a goal for myself to run a sub 2-hour half marathon, and I ended up completing that. Throughout the process of me running, I got so many questions, and I just want to put everything in one video as to what helped me to go from not running to running a half marathon. And then even now I've started picking running up again, which you'll see in this video. I actually did complete a 9-mile run today, which is the most mileage I've ran since my half marathon.
That's right. Set up for 8, ended up doing 9.
Feeling very proud of myself, and I just feel so much more knowledgeable on what works for me going into long runs. With that said, let's get into the video. The very first thing that I did when I signed up for the half marathon is I got the proper gear. I got new running shoes, new watch, and I got some headphones. Those are things that I use on every single run. I use for every single training session. I wanted to start off with brand new gear that would help set me up for success right off the bat. So let's talk shoes. The type of shoes you run in can either make or break you. I did not want to have some sort of injury come up when it was something that I could avoid. So I actually went to Corpus Christi, and they had a store called Fleet Feet, and I went and talked to a professional, had them size me. It was really cool. I step on this platform and they see if I have any imbalances, anything like that. I was all normal. And then I told them what I was looking for, and they brought me out a few different options. I ended up getting Mizuno Wave Rider 23. I love these. It is so crazy how night and day it is when I'm wearing normal just Nike shoes or Converse, and then I put these babies on. Oh my gosh, it's like my feet are floating on clouds. So having a good pair of running shoes is very important. I'm someone who does not like to spend a lot of money on workout clothes or shoes, so I think I spent probably like $100 on these. I'll link these shoes below. But I'm telling you, if you want to prevent any injury and you want to feel your best during your runs, invest in a good pair of running shoes. The next thing that I bought right before I got into training was a new watch. When I signed up for the half marathon, I decided to treat myself and get something that is meant for running. So I went with the Garmin 235. It does even more than I expected it could do. It tracks my sleep, my steps, my heart rate, my runs. It has GPS on it, which is so cool. I didn't even realize I wanted that. It tracks VO2 max and what zone you're in when you're running. So could not recommend this watch enough. I will link this watch below. Last but not least is a good pair of headphones. I personally do not like to run with big headphones, and I don't like to run with something that requires a wire. So I actually got these. This is the Multitude. I don't know what you call these, but they are a wireless earbud. Much cheaper than, say, an AirPod that you can get from Apple. Really tiny, and I've had no issues with these falling out. It's really cool because the case it's in charges them, but you do have to make sure you keep the case charged. These have been great. The only issue I did have is during the half marathon, we had like a 30-minute late start, and I was wearing these for 30 minutes when we weren't running. So the last 30 minutes of my half marathon, they died on me.
I feel like I blacked out the last 2 miles because my earbuds died. That's when I knew I was in deep shit.
But that was my bad because I was wearing them before we even started. So other than that, I've had no issues with these. I love them. I think they're like $35, $40 on Amazon. I will link these in the description below as well. The next thing that I learned through my own training is how important nutrition is. Nutrition and water intake. And it's not just the day of your run, but it's the whole week leading up to your long runs. But for this specific video, I am gonna talk about the exact nutrition that I use going into my long runs. You're gonna see some of these things that I already used earlier in preparation for today's run. Every single morning I take my strong greens and my strong reds. These both are packed with so many vitamins, nutrients, antioxidants. They help with my energy levels, bloating, digestion, you name it. These two are the best way to start off any day. Whether I'm running or not, these are always a staple. I don't drink coffee before my runs because I try to limit the amount of liquid that I have in me because I don't want to have to go to the bathroom. So my energy is purely based off of these two babies right here. So strong greens and strong reds. I have a whole video that breaks down even more information on these. It's my supplement video. I will link that here. Now, something that I did use today for the first time was G1M Sport. This is an amazing carbohydrate source, and it also has electrolytes and sodium. So this is something I used for the first time today, and I felt amazing. It is so crucial to be fueling up with carbohydrates before a run, but you also lose a lot of sodium through sweating. So this, I have no doubt, helped me replenish what I lost while I was running and also gave me the energy to keep going. I felt so good, so fueled. So I took one scoop about an hour before my run. I was more so sipping on it throughout that hour, and then I took one scoop after the run to kind of replenish the electrolytes that I lost. First time ever trying this. It definitely's got that lime flavor. Tastes a, you can, I mean, it has 350 milligrams of sodium, so it does have a little bit of a salty taste. But the sodium, but the lime. For the half marathon prep, when that wasn't available, because that product only just came out, I was training with these GU packets. These have amino acids, sodium, caffeine. So this was my go-to. I would usually take one of these like 5 minutes before a run, and then for my long runs, let's say I was gonna run 10 miles, I would take one at 5 miles. So I did train with these, and then I also used these during my half marathon. Carbing up and getting those electrolytes and that sodium, that's gonna be a huge, huge game changer in your runs. Once I started incorporating things like this into my long distance runs, I felt the difference. And then you'll also see that I did also have a bagel this morning. I do like to have some sort of food in my stomach before I'm taking supplements. It's just a personal preference, so I'm not having all that liquid in me. I do like to have a little bit of food, so my food source is carbs. So either I'll have a rice cake with peanut butter, or I'll have a flan, half a bagel with peanut butter. So this morning was a bagel. Then of course, after your runs, drink tons of water. Try to limit my intake before the runs because of the whole try not to go to the bathroom, but after my runs, I drink all the water. And again, it's not just the day of the run, it is throughout the week. You need to be having your nutrition and your water intake in check leading up to the run, because that will all affect the long run. One snack that I love to have if I don't have immediate access to a kitchen is a Field Bar. Eastfield bars have protein, fats, and carbs, so this is a great, quick go-to snack to have when you maybe are out on a trail and you're not going to be back home, to make a protein, carb-filled meal to replenish yourself after a run. Nutrition is super important.
I got that
Another factor that made a huge difference in my training was stretching. Pre-run stretching and post-run stretching. I can't even tell you what a difference it makes when you take the time to stretch and loosen up your muscles. It is a game changer. Open up the hips and stretch the calves and the hip flexors and your hamstrings. You are gonna have such better runs if you take the time to do this. I was stubborn and it took me a bit to learn it, but now that I have, my runs are so different now. So I would recommend getting a foam roller. This is great to roll out your back or your hamstrings or your quads. It feels so good on my quads. So I do this before my runs, and then I will link this. I got this from Amazon. But this is a huge help. And then I also use a lacrosse ball to roll the bottoms of my feet. Feels so good. All these things hurt so good because it is a little painful, but it feels really good. I'm starting to incorporate yoga into my daily routine, not just on days that I'm running. There is a theme here. What you do throughout the week is going to affect your run. It's not just what you do on the day of your run, it's what you're doing on the days leading up to it. My next tip is all about resting and recovering. Rest days for me include getting lots of sleep, foam rolling, getting in 10,000 steps, not doing anything too crazy strenuous. I'm someone who benefits so much from getting in my sleep. Your body needs those hours to recover. Setting yourself sleep goals, being intentional with what time you go to bed and what time you wake up, those are all going to affect how you run. I know during my half marathon prep, I had some horrible runs when I got such little sleep the night before. So if you're going to be going into a long run, make sure you get plenty of sleep. And even taking a rest day the day before a long run can do a lot of good. So take time to rest and get your sleep. Now, when it comes to the actual training, that is obviously going to be a very important factor into upping your mileage. I actually followed a program that Bear Performance Nutrition had made specifically for the half marathon that I ran, called the Run One More Challenge. So they provided us with a program, those who are beginners to 5Ks, half marathons, and full marathons. So I followed that program, obviously because I'm a beginner to running, so I did not know where to start. And after using that program, I cannot recommend enough. If you are new to this and you have a goal, maybe get a coach or look up a program online. From what I learned from having a program is it's not just 5 miles one weekend, 6 miles the next, 7 miles the next. What you do during the week is a huge part of being able to up your mileage. There's sprinting, there's intervals, there's running and then you walk. So just to give you an example, the first week, it was actually 1 to 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks, and they were the exact same. I had Monday off / recover. Tuesday was a 3x5 minute easy run with a 1 minute walk recovery in between. So run 5 minutes easy, and then walk 1 minute, run 5 minutes easy, walk 1 minute, run 5 minutes easy, walk 1 minute. That was the workout. And then it gave me a zone to run in, so zone 2 or 3 with an RPE of 5 to 6. So that kind of helped me with knowing what intensity I needed to run at. And then Wednesday was off recovery. Then Thursday it was 4x5 easy. So the same thing as Tuesday, except going for one more 5 minute session. And then Friday was an off recovery day. Then Saturday was 5x5 easy run. So Tuesday was 3, Thursday was 4, Saturday was 5 with the 1 minute recovery in between. And then Sunday was 3 times 10 minute easy run with a 2 minute walk in between. So this was before the mileage started really ramping up, and Sundays were my long runs. But do you see how it's broken up? It's not just go out and run for 30 minutes straight. That's pretty much how it went for the months leading up to the half marathon. It was 2 weeks were the same, and with those 2 weeks there was intention of intervals, and sometimes there were sprinting intervals, and I was paying attention to pace and effort. So that is a huge part of running that I honestly had no idea about. I really did think it was just you run and you just start adding mileage and you should be able to, you know, run for a long time. If I didn't have that program, I definitely would have suffered. So it's nice to be able to learn something new and do it in a strategic way and enjoy the process. That was the biggest thing. It was really exciting for me to see how much I could run when a month prior I didn't even think it was possible. Like, I remember when I ran for 30 minutes straight, that was a huge accomplishment for me. So if you're a beginner, just know it is so normal to feel, you know, lost or you don't know where to start, but I cannot recommend enough either finding a program that is like this where it's broken down, or a coach. It's so great having someone else who's more knowledgeable on the subject guiding you, or just someone who helps hold you accountable. There's no shame in hiring a coach. I think it is so awesome. So that's a huge tip that helped me that may help one of you who is just starting out. And my last tip is really something that I think may be hard for some, but I know for me, having a certain mindset really helped me to dig deep and push through those harder workouts. It is the most empowering feeling when you accomplish your goal of a certain mileage, or you go further than you thought. Like today, I went further than I had planned to go, and then I set 3 new personal records, and it is the most empowering feeling. So if you don't push yourself to get out of your comfort zone, you're not going to be able to experience these kinds of feelings. You're not going to see your full potential. And that's something that I want for all of you. I want you to see what your full potential is. Push hard. Have that mindset of you can do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Show up for yourself. And if you start thinking of all these reasons why you shouldn't do something, that's when you just stop, count to 3, and go. Don't allow yourself to come up with all these excuses as to why you shouldn't. Pushing myself out of my comfort zone and just doing something that challenges me has taught me so freaking much. So get outside your comfort zone, follow these tips that I've given you, and I promise you, you are going to learn so much about yourself, and you're gonna be so proud of yourself. Hope you guys learned a few things from this video. I have a bunch of links for you down below if you want to get anything that I've used. I also have a code for the supplements that you saw, the Bare Performance Nutrition supplements. So I will put that code down for you below. You can save some money. It also supports me. I'm a BPN ambassador. If you have any questions about anything I talked about, let me know down below and I will get back to you. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Really hope you liked it. Something a little different. It's really fun getting to show you guys something that I learned through my own experience of getting out of my comfort zone. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.